Hello, you humans. It's me, Alani, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 4 key lessons that I learned when starting my art shop in 2025. Let's get started. So, let me just introduce who I am. My name is Alani. I am currently 29 years old and I live on the island of Maui in Hawaii. So, in 2020, I started my first online website calling it This Is Life Alani. After 4 years, I thought it would be fun to share at least one key lesson I've learned running an art shop. In full disclaimer, this is what I've learned for educational purposes. My intention is not to glamorize anything, purely my own experience, and I thought it would be just a fun way to look back on how far I've come. Okay, I can remember the exact artwork I drew that really got the ball rolling. Here's a human masked girl painted in green, wearing a mask over her face. It was the summer of 2020 in July. The world was already dramatically changing. I remember sharing a few of my drawings with my sister at the time, and she told me, "Lon, you really should sell your art. I can see people would just really love to buy this." And that is when it started. Lesson 1. I picked up my business name and I already drew a logo. I can start selling, right? Okay, nice try. But no, even though picking a business name can be a little time consuming to navigate, it's not the first step to make sure that your business is legit, meaning legal. In order for me to sell any items, I needed to make sure I was set up for success, and that meant making sure I was ready to file my taxes at the end of the year. Yes, that, taxes. Death and taxes. I'm in the business of taxes. But anyways, since I do live in the United States, I am a resident of Hawaii. I did learn I needed to obtain a General Access Tax License, GET, which is a number that registers for tax purposes. The rules and guidelines for filing within my state are definitely different than anywhere else in the United States. So please remember this situation applies to me when I was filing for my business. So after following the proper paperwork, the requirements, and paying the $20 fee, I did get my GET license in the mail, which I could then start selling. Now you might be thinking, why do you have to have a business license? Why is it so important? It's good to keep track of your finances, expenses, write-offs, profit, fees, regardless of the payment methods such as cash, card, app payments, or if you're not even receiving any money between the filing periods. I need to make sure I filed my taxes for the things that I was accounting for. So in order for my business to be legit, to be legal, I need to make sure I filed with the state for my taxes. Over time, it's been a key motivation to stay organized with all the expenses within the business. Lesson number 2. Now that I'm able to sell items, I had to figure out which platform I was going to use to sell or advertise. Of course, there's been a bunch of different social media platforms in order to incorporate, market, share, anything. For me personally, I had to figure out where my audience was. And majority of my audience was online. If that's going to be Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Some of my first sales was simple direct messaging, in-person requests, Etsy, and Shopify. Eventually, I did figure out what was more important to me, and that was that I would be able to deliver any of these items and products that someone wanted to buy, if that was in person or through the mail. Since it was 2020 when I first started, I jumped on the virtual shopping market, which was Etsy. I remember there was a lot of restrictions back then in 2020 because of the height of COVID and during the pandemic. In-person sales were really far in between. So I had to start off right where I thought everyone else was starting, which was a marketplace online. I was able to list simple items like stickers, keychains, and pins at an affordable price range. There was a lot of pros when it came to selling on Etsy because the market pool was very large and there was a lot of people being able to see what I would create and make, and then I would be able to mail them out to the customer. So eventually I was able to move from Etsy to Shopify, where there was more of a financial budget method. You pay a monthly subscription and you have full access to custom web designing, product listing, advertising, newsletters, like the list goes on. And for me personally, I really do like the option to kind of do whatever you want on a platform that you can create anything that you want. So in 2022, I had my first in-person event and I had the opportunity to sell to people who who were able to interact with my product, interact with me, and I was able to witness everything come full circle. Being able to manage, of course, my transactions, the sales, and update my inventory was a huge difference. And of course, partial selling online and in person was a way for me to grow as an artist and expand my knowledge when it came to the creating and selling my art. And something else with the Shopify, the shipping, a breeze. Literally being able to pre-prep all my shipping before my orders makes all the printing, packing, and shipping out so easy and super convenient. Lesson number 3, do you need to have a degree in order to be considered as a legitimate artist? No, but it helps to have skills, and it helps to be creative, and it definitely helps to be driven and to be able to do new things. So yes, education is very important, but it's all around you. Education is experience. My former education goes all the way back to when I was in high school. In 2013, I did go to college for film and was able to learn a bunch of skills when it came to production, innovative design, literature, even photography. The next following years, I switched up my degree to visual arts and then later to early childhood education, mainly because my interest changed. To summarize, I learned a lot and I have 3 unfinished degrees. But does that mean I'm not going to be successful in whatever I put my mind to? Of course not. Part of being an artist is that you just do it. A lot of times you figure it out, and that's just part of life. Art is a voice, and art can make a difference. It doesn't matter how much money that you poured into your education, it's what you do with it. Being able to apply the things that I've learned over the years has really impacted my art style, my vision, and ultimately my passion. Like, I didn't learn how to make a sticker while I was in college, but I definitely had to do some research, watch tutorials in order for me to be inspired to create a product of my own. When I first started making, say, stickers, the placement, the color, cut, finish, and the overall design was definitely time consuming. That's not something that a college professor is going to take the time to teach you. You are your own teacher and your own student. That's what I learned when I was in college. And that's also what I learned when I was out of college. I just wanted to be excited about what I was making. And part of it is just doing the work. This did open up opportunities for me to be able to reflect and challenge myself as an artist and as a small business creator, to be able to refine sometimes even my own mistakes to figure out what's going to work for me. Mistakes are just happy accidents that keep on happening, and hopefully it's a good lesson. That brings me to my 4th lesson. What the heck? Make sure to have fun. If I'm not having fun, what am I even doing? This is my art. This is my life. This is why I called it This Is Life Alani. I mean, life is way too short to take things so seriously. I've created so many different designs and products and over the course of the last 4 years because it means something to me. It sparks joy or laughter or just like cringy conversations. I mean, I've made mug rugs, stickers, keychains, tote bags, t-shirts, wood carvings, embroiders, like earrings. So many things I've made over the last couple years, and it blows my mind that I still want to keep on making more. You know what that is? It's passion. Like, seriously, I made a sticker that says all I want to be is a plant mom. And I made an embroidered art piece that literally says, boo, your feelings got hurt. Like, cannot take life seriously. You need to have fun. And if you're not having fun, what are you doing? Stop doom scrolling. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing, and stop trying to copy other people's art. It's always great to be inspired. Don't steal people's work. I'm talking to you, AI creator. But hey, what do I know? In summary, is my business legit? Yes. I've put a lot of sweat, blood, and tears into it to make it what it is today. When it comes down to how I sell my art, Shopify is the best website outlet when it comes to POS or online sales. Having 3 unfinished degrees mean that my business is gonna fail? No. Only I can determine the vision where I want my shop to go. And of course, have fun. Because why the heck would you be doing this otherwise? And with that, those are the 4 lessons that I've learned running my art shop here on the island of Maui in Hawaii. I did want to say thank you to all you humans for watching. I actually wrote everything that I needed to say to keep myself on track, so honestly, this was a challenge in itself. I do hope this video sparks some inspiration when it comes to supporting other artists and creators in your area. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.